Hi, back again with another list because we all love lists, don't we? I certainly do. And today's list is about cheap freshies, kind of hidden gems as well, that you may or may not heard about. So I'm going to tell you about them and tell you a little bit about the fragrances, and they're in no particular order whatsoever. It's just that I own all of these bottles because I like all of them, and I've kept them and I wear them because I like them, and I like them in the heat, and I like them in spring, and I like them in summer, and I like them when it's warmer weather. So let's kick off. And the first one, I've actually got all my bottles here for once in view, which is nice, isn't it? It's a little bit different, except for the first one I'm going to talk about, which I don't have. I'll put a picture of it somewhere here, kind of like this. It's called Anucci by Anucci, and it was one of my favorite fragrances. I finally finished it. I bought it well over a decade ago now, and it's from the 80s. I think it's from 1988. It's got a bottle shaped like a golf ball on top of a golf ball, and I've talked about it previously as well. And I think it is a brilliant fragrance. It is grassy, it is sweet, it's uplifting. It's like golf. It's golf. That's basically what it is. It evokes the imagery of golf on a bright spring morning as well. Not too hot. I wouldn't wear it in super hot weather because it can get cloying. It has got beast mode projection for a white floral fragrance for men, which is quite strange, I think, and especially for the price point of where it's at. Now, when I got it, it was a tad bit cheaper than what you can get it now, and I think it has been discontinued, but I'm not sure. But Anucci by Anucci, if you've never heard of this one, I suggest you check it out because it is such a brilliant scent for the price. Let's move on to the next one in this list in no particular order, but there is a next one anyway, and that's going to be starting, I guess, from here. Kenzo Jungle. This one right here. It does get a little bit of attention, but it only gets attention when people are talking about, hey, no one's talking about this. And I guess if enough people do that, then that becomes redundant, as is the packaging on this one, because it's kind of got like a zebra-ish thing over here, and it's called Jungle. And I don't know if I've seen any zebras in the jungle. I've never been to a jungle, but I don't know if that's where zebras live. I'm pretty sure they live like I don't know where zebras live, okay? That's not my strong point here. I know my fragrances. This one really, this one actually can be a signature scent. This one can be a signature scent because it works in any kind of weather, but I associate it with warmer weather because it's got that citrus, it's got a little bit of creamy woodiness as well. It's got a little bit of a coconut vibe to it as well. And I think the longevity is okay, but it's not that great. Office friendly for sure, outdoor friendly for very sure. So another one that people don't talk about often enough, Jungle by Kenzo. Another thing that I thought I should mention with Kenzo Jungle is that it has been reformulated, but the reformulation isn't all that different from the current version. So that's good, because the original Kenzo Pour Homme, that got reformulated and that wasn't very good. This one, I think, is kept true to the original. I have smelled the original as well from way back in ye olden times. Moving on from Kenzo Jungle, let's talk about 3 AM by Shawn John. 3 AM by Shawn John, you see how much of it that I've actually used up so far. High heat, perfect. Love it. Look at my shirt. This is a Shawn John 3 AM shirt. That's what it is. And it is, like I've said before, it's pina coladas by the pool, just relaxing, just chilling. It's a fun sort of party time kind of scent, and I absolutely love it. And again, I'm going to do it again. Atomizer! Atomizer! Atomize! So good. So good. So nice. I just wish that it had better longevity. Like, the projection also doesn't exist, but it just smells so nice. I just wish that it had better longevity. It's a tad more projection. I mean, when you get out and you're in the heat of the summer sun wearing this, you do get the projection. And if you spray it on clothes, you might get a little bit more, but it's not that great. However, the smell itself is great. I'd suggest just to keep the bottle around and keep on spritzing yourself throughout the day, because it's just that cheap and you can do so. 3 AM by Shawn John. The tagline is, anything can happen at 3 AM. I hope not, but apparently that's what can happen. Cheers. Another one that I do like and I do wear quite often, but not as often as I would like, because it's kind of like an occasion fragrance, and I'll show you what it is. It is this one right here. It is Dunhill Century. Dunhill Century. And the bottle is like this, and I have no idea why, maybe, and it's a magnetic cap, and they give you an instruction on how to take it off. Originally I was trying to like claw at it, but you're supposed to twist this off and the magnets repel each other. Now, I don't know if you can balance it on the thing. It would be cool if you were able to do this, but there is no reason why the bottle has dimples that I can tell, because it's called Century and there's nothing to do with this. But I like the bottle design, and to me this is just really lovely dry jasmine tea. That's what it is. It's a real chill out mood. It's a nice sort of spring day where it's a little bit overcast maybe, and you are dressed up semi-formal. That's what this one is for. Nice, cheap, freshy. The projection is not that great. The longevity is okay actually for this one. So I think a small bottle like this probably set you back like 25 bucks, and I think it's a steal for that price. The quality is also pretty good as well. It doesn't dry down to something stupid and generic. There is no vanilla tonka in here. Vanilla tonka, vanilla. No, none of that stuff is in here. And there's no unnecessary sweetness coming from it as well. So if you want something more dry, a little bit leafy, stemmy, earthy, sort of jasmine. I get a lot of jasmine, but not a sweet jasmine. Just like a really earthy leaf of a tea, you know, the kinds that you would, you know, those jasmine tea, like the balls, you put them in the hot water and then they open up like this. If you ever drink tea and you know those ones, it's kind of like that, but a little bit more earthiness as well. And I think there's some neroli in here, but I don't get it because it's kind of been overshadowed by that sort of jasmine tea note. And funnily enough, there is no jasmine in the note breakdown for this one. I might be crazy, but that's what I get out of it, and I really enjoy it, and I think you will too. And it's not a big sort of punt to take financially, so why not try it out? The next one is this one right here. It is Paco by Paco Rabanne. Now, a lot of people might have forgotten about this one. This one, when it was originally released, it came in an all silver tin. Now, part of it is black, and it makes that noise, and it smells very, very similar to CK1. Now, the reason why I haven't got CK1 in here is because that seems it's got less substance than this one does. I like the fact that this one's a little bit more herbaceous and it's a little bit more upfront with the aromatic notes. It has better longevity on my skin anyway. Not that it's that great, and again, very, very cheap. It was like $20 for this bottle. I mean, for this tin, and it comes in like a nice sort of cylindrical tin as well. Paco Rabanne Paco, I don't see it get talked about all that often when it comes to sort of cheap hidden freshies, and I think again this is more leaning towards a springtime scent. You can do it in the summer and you can do it in the summer heat as well, but to me it's a bright, sparkling sort of spring day, and that's Paco by Paco Rabanne. All right, next one is this one right here. This is a Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme. Lovely bottle and a lovely scent. It's a lovely figgy, woody scent. Now, it's not the fig fruit, it's not the sweet fig. It is again almost a milky, unripened stem and branch of the fig and the fig tree itself. And it dries down, even though it's fig forward and I get a lot of fig from it, it does dry down to a more woody sort of base. Because of the fig, it gives it that sort of freshness. It's very elegant, and I think that you would definitely need to spray this on a shirt rather than a t-shirt, let's say. I wouldn't formally dress it up because it's just not that good in terms of quality against like a niche counterpart or something like that, but it is definitely worth checking out if you want to get your nose on a decent fig fragrance that is not going to punch you in the face with that actual fig fruitiness, because sometimes when fig is done too heavily, it comes across as vomit. I'm just saying, it does kind of give that vibe, but this is done quite well. It's kind of light, it's quite airy as well. You can't really overspray it. And again, as with all of these sort of cheap freshies, you're not expecting them to be beast mode. You're not expecting them to be the longevity to be 12 hours or anything like that. This is pretty decent, especially when it becomes a skin scent and you get that sort of woodiness. Probably about a good 6 hours or so from that, once the fig fades away after the first few hours. So yeah, Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme, check it out. Again, it's a very cheap one, and it's worth getting your nose across if you haven't already. Okay, and the next one in this list with no order of cheapy, freshy, hidden gemmies is this one right here. It is Image by Charuti, and I really like the fact that I haven't wiped any of the fingerprints off there. And that's because I use my fragrances and I touch them. Look again. Okay, it's clean. All right, good. Everything must be clean. Okay, it's got a really cool atomizer little thingy here. I like it. Check it out. Like that. But the spray itself isn't that great. I just like the little trigger thing. It's really cool. Baby powder with a little bit of anise. So this reminds me kind of like Bulgari's BLV in the square blue bottle, the one that the old Alberto Morillas classic. I'm just going to do that so it stops jiggling around. It reminds me of that minus the lemon, because that one's lemon and baby powder, and it's a very nice scent. But this one is baby powder, and it's got like a little bit of this undercurrent of anise, which gives it a really unique kick. With this one, I find that on skin, it doesn't last very long. Doesn't project very long either, which is fine. On clothes, it's pretty damn good. For some reason, whatever it is, clings onto clothes really well, and you can actually smell it the next day. Again, I've used up quite a bit of it. I only got it recently, not recently, maybe a year ago or something like that, because this was a classic from back in the day. It did get discontinued in 2015, and I think they brought it back in 2020. Should do that in 2020, and I don't think the scent has suffered very much, because I did remember smelling this from back in the day. It's back, and you can get it, and you can get it for a steal. It's actually really, really cheap. So even if you wanted to make this your signature and bathe in it, you wouldn't be putting up too much of a financial struggle to maintain that kind of habit. Charuti Image. And this next one, I seem to be the only one talking about this, because I have not seen anyone actually ever talk about this, and even I wanted to research about it and I couldn't find too much about it other than just the regular review boards, and there's no sort of YouTube videos about it. I have talked about it previously a few times, and I'm going to mention it one more time because I just enjoy it so much. It is this one right here, and I love talking about this because of the name. It is, well, it's French, and I'm pretty sure you pronounce it fashionable or something like that, which might mean fashionable in French. Probably does mean fashionable in French, but here in Australia we call it fuckinable or fuckinable, whatever you want to call it, however you want to call it, but however you want to pronounce it. But in good old Aussie land, that's what we want to call it. Now, I did see a video of like some people doing pet peeves about fragrance reviewers and doing videos, and then they just like take the cap off and smelling, oh yes, and then they do it again. But with this one, I cannot resist. I can't resist the urge to do it because it is just so surprising. How can they do this for this cheap? Like, this is the 50 ml bottle, and I picked this up for 20 bucks, and it comes in a nice presentation, comes in a tin, not a cardboard box, it's actually a metal tin, and the cap is metallic, and the atomizer is really good. It's pressurized, it sprays a lot of juice. It's Dior quality atomizer right there as well. And this starts off with this almost like this herbaceous blast, right? It's got a little bit of the alcohol in the back, but a herbaceous blast, which sort of turns into citrus a little bit, and then it comes back into its herbaceousness in the base, and a little bit of woods in there as well. So I think this is more appropriate for spring weather when it's not so super duper hot. This one I'd avoid in the heat of the summer, like the high heat. So in the springtime, however, absolutely gold perfect, this one. Yeah, by all means, check it out. Façonnable, fuckinable, whatever you call it, it still smells great. Second last one in the list, and one that I never actually thought that I would like, and I'd like to shout out Mr. Smelly, Dan, for putting me onto this, because again, he's talked about this many times, and I think he's hyped it up. I don't think he's hyped it up, but he's talked about how much he enjoys wearing it. So he wears the EDP of this, and I've got the Eau de Toilette. I bought the Eau de Toilette because I thought Okay, let's go with that one first, because reading the notes and how it's citrusy and soapy and sort of a little bit woody and kind of almost fougere-ish in the dry down, I thought an eau de toilette would probably be better because it might project a little bit better or perform a little bit less than the eau de parfum, but it might project a little bit better. And the thing I'm talking about here is this one right here. Focus, good. So this is Boucheron Pour Homme by the eau de toilette, and the eau de toilette of this. Now I've got another Bushiron. I've got the Jaipur eau de parfum, which I bought a very long time ago, and I've still got a quarter of a bottle left because it is powerful. It's very powerful. This one, however, longevity is great. Projection is mild, but you don't want this to project so crazy. Initially, I just thought, okay, all this lemon stuff, I'm not really into it, but it hit me after a few wearings, and I absolutely love it. I sprayed the crap out of it. As you can see, I've actually used quite a bit of it, and I only got it last year, and I absolutely love it. It is cheap as chips. It's probably cheaper than some kind of chips if you want to buy chips at a restaurant. So you could probably have yourself a really nice fragrance, and I've worn this in the summer heat, and it works beautifully. The dry down's a bit questionable because it does sort of dry down, like I said, to an almost like a fougere kind of thing, but I really love that lemony, soapy cleanness of it. There just doesn't seem to be any aspect of it that I actually don't like. Now, I'm keen once I actually go through this one to try out the eau de parfum, because I think that might have a little bit more rounded edges. It might actually be sweeter than this one. So let's try that one out once I finish this. And the way I'm going, I don't think it'll be long until I'm through with it. So there we are, Boucheron Pour Homme. Oh man, bit old school. It gives me a little bit of Habit Rouge as well in the opening, with that sort of mustiness that the Habit Rouge / Guerlain sort of have, but not even close. Just the vibe. Yeah. And last but definitely not least, something that was recommended to me by a couple of my subscribers who commented without knowing each other. They both commented and said, hey, you should try this out. And I thought, okay, well, why not? Because it's $15. Who cares? Let's give it a try. And I was pleasantly surprised. And I talked about this previously, that I was pleasantly surprised when I unboxed it and tried it out, in that the only word that came to my mind was fun. Fun in the sun. And that's what this one is. It is CK's Into You for her. Now, I've got the Into You for him, which I've done a video on a long time ago when I had a very large and long lockdown beard. But this one I got last year, and God damn it, it is just so much fun. It's fun in a bottle. It doesn't last very long. It kind of disappears soon after you put it on, but hell, who cares? When you're having fun, you're having fun. It shouldn't really matter how long you have fun or how intensely your fun projects onto others. What matters is that you're having the fun, doesn't it? If you're having fun, then does it matter that, you know, other people can't see you having fun? I don't think so. Is someone going to compliment you on you having fun? Are you concerned about that? Probably not, because if you're actually having fun, then you don't care about any of that. And that's what this is. It's you not giving a shit that you're wearing a CK fragrance that's $15 because it's fun and you're having fun. And that's what's most important. I love this one for that particular reason. It just makes you, it just drops any pretense that you actually thought you had. And on that fun note, I must bid you a fond farewell. Thanks for watching.